What's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. I hope you guys follow along. It's been so long since I've actually been able to stream from this type of setup, so I hope you guys follow along. Looks like we are live. Give me like 2 seconds to get this set up. It's been so long since I've been able to stream, from this type of setup from home, just because I've been away, out of town working, and I've been at the farm, and just all kinds of stuff going on. Super busy, with work, and it's just been nuts. So I'm glad to be able to be back home and do some stuff around the house and around home, and be able to stream from this live stream. So looks like everything's coming through good. I hope you guys hope you guys are doing pretty good. I hope you guys had a good day. Hopefully you guys had a good holiday weekend. Mine was busy. We were at the farm doing a bunch of food plots, and it was crazy. So who do we have in the chat? City Sticker Chris, what's up, buddy? Hunting stuff with J&J. Woo Day has arrived. George Clark, what's going on, buddy? What's up, Dave? Glad to see you on your own setup. Yes, glad to be here back on this setup. Hey Dave, any flooding up there? Yeah, there was a bunch of flooding. Wasn't directly like around me, but there was a bunch of areas that got flooded really bad. There's actually a few people that went missing. I heard on the radio this morning. They tried to save somebody, or one of them tried to save an animal, a cat I believe it was, and he got taken away with the floods. So it got pretty bad. Brian, planted plots today in Arkansas, soybeans. Sent you a pic. Hope yours is going good. Yes, got the picture. Sent you a reply. Looks good, man. You had a nice tractor there. Everything's looking good. Tri-State Outdoors. Hey Dave, what's up, buddy? Gregory, what's up? Dave, been a while. Glad you're back. Well, yeah, back on this type of setup. I've been going live. I think I missed like 1 or 2 of them, but we're back live on my favorite setup. Streaming from the phone is okay in a pinch, it still works, gets the job done, but this is so much better because I can actually see the comments that pop up and they don't disappear like it does on the phone. I wish they would fix that, because a lot of comments pop up and then like 3 seconds later they're gone. So, anybody got any questions? This weekend, what we're going to talk about a little bit is people seem to be very interested in food plots and how to help hold deer on their properties. It's a huge trending, I should say, topic, because people want information. They want real, true information on what you can do to help your deer herd, help hold deer on your property, help attract deer on your property, how to plant food plots, how to do this, that, and the other. With that, again, I am no expert, but I use common sense when it comes to this type of stuff, and it's worked. There's real information out there that can help you guys. So that's what we're going to talk about. We had a lot of stuff going on over the weekend with food plots. There's different types of ways to attract deer. There's different types of ways to attract turkeys. And with that, not everything that you do is you're not going to see instant results. And what I mean by that is you could go out and do all types of different work to any property anywhere, and you could not do anything. You could not do anything and you could see deer. But the key is when you can go out there to any property and manipulate something or help the area or whatever it is that you're doing to try to attract deer to your property. The whole reward in that is you getting out there and doing it yourself, and then seeing animals, deer, turkey, whatever it is that you're trying to attract. You actually see the results from that, and that's what makes you feel good about it, because it's just something that you created. You know what I mean? You went out there and you did that, and you could be sitting in your tree stand and you planted this little, 20 by 20 foot food plot, or you planted a 10-acre food plot, and all of a sudden, if you planted that and you're hunting and you see a deer in that food plot, it's just like, man, I made that food plot, and deer are eating it. It's just a cool feeling, and that's why I do it. But with that, doesn't always guarantee you a success with a harvest. Yeah, you can see deer and you're attracting deer, but everything has to play in together for you to get your bow drawn back and to get the shot. But that's just a bonus. The whole reward is seeing more wildlife and knowing that you put that there, and if the deer eat it, they're benefiting. You know what I mean? So it's just a cool feeling, and it's always, what you do this year will benefit next year, and what you do next year will benefit. It's just a cycle that keeps on going. It's just a cool feeling. David, when you spray antelope growth, do you pick specific plants, or do you just broadcast spray an area, say along deer trails? Good question. I do both, but I mainly spray everything I can get to, and the reason behind that is there are some specific species of plants that deer just simply won't eat. I mean, you could do whatever you want to them, spray them, put freaking peanut butter on them or something. The deer aren't going to eat that specific plant. It's not preferred to them. So like a fern, deer don't eat ferns. I mean, unless they're desperately dying hungry, they may eat one, but I think they would rather choose bark over eating a fern. But when I go out there, on the specific things that I like to spray is I'll do a quick walk and I'll see what the deer are feeding on as far as browse. You'll see the tops chewed off, and you'll know it's a deer. You'll just know, because when they chew it off, it's not like a smooth cut. It's rough, so you'll know it's a deer, and you'll just know. So I obviously spray that. So if you're going through the woods with, say, like a backpack sprayer or a hand pump sprayer, and you're going through and you see, okay, well, deer's feeding on these briars here, deer feeding on these vines, or deer feeding on this ragweed or poison ivy or something, spray it, because when they come back to eat it, they're now eating a healthier plant. On the other side, when I'm going through like a field or a logging road or something like that, I'll go through there with the boom sprayer, with my ATV sprayer, and just spray the whole thing, because this plant that they don't eat now, because it's not preferred to them, 6 months down the road, 2 months down the road, 3 months down the road, it may be preferred to them. So the nutrients are there, you know what I mean, are kind of there ready to go. So in my opinion, it's best just to spray everything, and then as much as you can during the off season through spring and summer, and then when you get into bow season, deer season, then you can start narrowing it down just around your tree stands, your food plots. If you have little kill plots, spray that sucker. Or if you have larger food plots, say like an acre or 2 acres or something, that you can narrow it down to a small little section of that food plot, say like a 1/4 acre of it or an 1/8 acre, for them to be attracted to that smaller area to help you get a bow shot, or depending on the gun that you have, rifle, shotgun, whatever, you know, whatever your distance is there. Gregory, it's getting harder to hold deer when everyone is doing bigger plots around you. I still hold deer, but not as many the past 10 years. Absolutely. You know, everybody wants to up their game, you know, with that, and there's nothing wrong with that. If somebody wants to plant a bigger plot, let them plant a bigger plot. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Everybody wants to up their game. It's just, you know, you doing what you can do with the property and equipment or whatever it is that you have. You know, sometimes, you know, somebody's going to have something, you know, better than yours, or bigger equipment or something like that, so you just have to work with what you have. Any big things to expect from Ashley now that she is on the Woo team? George Clark. There's a few things that we're going to do. We plan on doing this live video, and we're going to do it we're going to try to do it as a two-person. So she'll be like on this screen over here, and I'll be on this screen over here. So it'll be like a two-person live stream going on. She's going to join in on that. We have to figure out how to do it. It's all these different things you have to do to get it to work, but that's what we're going to do. She's going to be helping out with certain things, and she's going to help out on the website, and she's very good with like photography and things like that, so she'll be helping out with pictures and doing things like that. I'm sure we're gonna get into some hunts together. She might do some trade shows, and she'll be around. You guys will see her more and more. We're just kind of getting things together, figured out, you know, who does who, and all that stuff. We've been talking on the phone and, you know, through messages and stuff, trying to get things in order, and everything like that. But as George just mentioned, I did bring over, her name is Ashley Rhodes. She has a large following on social media. She's very good at photography. She deer hunts her butt off. She hunts hard. Last year, you know, she had a tough season, and she hunted like every single day with her bow. You know, freezing cold, snow, rain, and she was out there. And then finally, at the end of it, it paid off, and she was able to shoot one with her bow. So she definitely works hard. So she'll be here helping out. So this just happened like a week ago, I believe. We kind of helped each other out over the past maybe 2.5 years, I believe, something like that, and kind of helped each other off and on. She was kind of doing something else, but now she is officially over here. Mike from Michigan. Hey Dave, what's up, buddy? Hope you're doing well. So a few other things. A lot of people think that attracting deer and all this other stuff has to be difficult, and it really doesn't, because deer, here's one little, it sounds stupid, but like it's like a huge thing. Deer are very curious animals, so if they see something that's different, that wasn't there before, and all of a sudden it's there now, as long as it doesn't, you know, spook them, as far as, you know, you doing something crazy. But deer are very, very curious animals. And one thing that I did on the new property, I have a 3-acre food plot. It's 3 acres field combined together, and we tilled the whole thing. Each acre in that plot is going to be a different food source. So we're going to have Right now, as far as summer plots go, we have buckwheat, soybeans, and a mix of clovers. So that's the three things that are going to be there. Now, the soybeans are going to be fenced off all summer long up until about October, and then I'm going to take the fence down, and then it'll be a late season food source. The buckwheat is only good for about 65 to 70 days, and it dies off, but it's very high in protein. So once that dies off, obviously we're going to plant a fall crop in there. It'll probably be a mix of like brassicas, some turnips, some oats, and things like that. Obviously, and then also with the beans, we can broadcast some brassicas, you know, in there as well. And then we also have like a 1/4 acre plot, got like a summer mix in there. It's got some cowpeas, sunflowers, sorghum, sun hemp. I think there's a little bit of soybeans in that. And when that, you know, dies off, or later, when we get later into the summer, then we'll go ahead and plant a fall food plot there as well, which will be like some oats and brassicas and you know, turnips or whatever it is. We'll figure it out when it gets there. But each part of this is going to be a different food source. So again, you can't have enough different varieties of food source. But we created that with a sorghum wall in between it. So the wall is going to grow about 10 feet tall. It's between the sorghum, or I'm sorry, it's between the buckwheat and the soybeans, and it's a strip. That way it sections off the food plots. So if deer want to be in the buckwheat and deer want to be in the clovers or soybeans, that wall is there and they can't see each other, because deer, believe it or not, they don't like to be crowded together eating from a bait pile or something. It's just not natural to them. So if you ever drive down a field or a road or something like that, it's, if you just pay attention and look, the deer are spaced out when they feed, like cows. You know what I mean? They're naturally grazing animals, browsing animals, so they're spaced out. So now with that section there, that gives them opportunity to feed over here and feed over there, and they're not crowded together. They don't have to see each other, you know what I mean, and stress each other out. So just pay attention to that one time, or you know, when you're hunting or driving down the road, you see a bunch of deer, you know, they're 10, 15, 20 feet apart, 30 feet, 40 feet apart when they feed, you know, and they're moving through the fields and moving through the woods or whatever. They like space. Alpha Dave, what's up, man? What's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing well. So yeah, so we did that. Secondly, we have apple trees on the property. The apple trees have not produced apples, according to the landowner, like legit apples, in 10 years, roughly 10 years. Some of the apple trees are in bad shape. A lot of the branches on them are dead, but they look good, like physically look good. There's leaves and buds and everything on there. So what we did was, Chris brought a 10-foot A-frame ladder. We were able to get up on that ladder with a boom sprayer off my ATV, and we sprayed the living heck out of these apple trees with a mixture of Antler Grow and NPK, because I want an additional food source. So I want these trees to produce apples, because when they start dropping, guess where the deer are going to be? They're going to be right under that apple tree, and they're going to be jumping up on their hind legs trying to get apples. Deer love fruit tree apples, persimmons. They love all of that. So the whole goal with that is to get these trees to produce apples again. I think it was going to happen, like legit apples. So I'm hoping it works. I think it will. I'll keep you guys updated. I have a new video coming out tomorrow about that. But it's pretty cool. You know, it's like you're getting, after a long day of food plotting on the tractor and spreading seed and 1,200 pounds of fertilizer and this, that, and the other. We managed to get this set up, get the 10-foot ladder back into the woods, set it up, 80, 90 degrees outside, sweating and sunburnt to a crisp, and do that. So it's all the little things that you can do that is going to help you in the long run. And this thing that I brought up a little while ago that it seems silly, but it helps. It's actually two things. So with that 3-acre food plot, there were some old trees, pine trees in there, and I cut them out of there. I just cut them out, didn't want them, but I left one. And the reason I left one tree in this food plot, it's a small one. I wouldn't. I'd say it's medium. It's probably maybe 15 feet tall, 10 feet tall. But I left that there because deer are very curious animals. So let's say you're hunting on the opposite end. This tree's kind of 3/4 of the way out. It's probably 100 yards away. So, if you take, this is funny. If you take like a white, you guys ever use deer pee? Well, if you use deer pee, you have a scent wick. Well, a lot of times you can just use that scent wick because it's white. It stands out. Deer are curious animals. If you can take that tree, like I left, hang a white scent wick in that tree, that gives a deer a visual. That deer can come out from wherever he's at, walk right up to that tree, right to that scent wick, because it's a visual, and it could give you a perfect broadside shot or whatever shot it is that you're looking for. It's just little weird things like that that can make a huge difference, because that deer might be 50 yards into the right, or 50 yards to the left, or 50 yards toward the back, and you can't get a shot, but he can see, or she can see that visual on that white wick that you hang, and like, they look at it and say, oh, what's that? And they'll slowly walk up to it, put their nose on it, and that could give you enough time to get a shot. It's stuff like that really does make a huge difference. It may not seem like it, but it really does if you just do it, and watch it work in action. It's very cool to see. The other thing is, as far as deer being curious animals, is there was and is an old fire road or logging road on the property. Doesn't have to be already there. You can make one. A lot of people will take just like a leaf blower or a rake or whatever it is that you have access to, and you can plow a trail through the woods. If you plow that trail through the woods, it brings curiosity to animals, and deer will start using it. But since this trail was already there, we cleaned it up. There were some deadfalls on it. We disked it up with the Groundhog Max. We fertilized it, limed it, and we actually just seeded it over the weekend. But without doing anything to that trail other than cleaning it up, clearing the deadfalls out, disking it up, that's all we did. Those deer are now using the heck out of that trail along with turkeys. I'm going to pull the card next weekend when I go there, but I didn't do it. I just kind of looked at the screen on the trail camera on the spy point. But the deer are using it. There's just tracks up and down this fire road. There's turkey tracks. I checked it about a week ago when I was there, and like I said, I didn't pull the card, but I'm sure there's more on there now. But it brings curiosity out of the deer, and now it actually is a food plot. We just planted it on Saturday, so now they're going to use it even more. So it's just little things and silly things that you can do like that make a huge difference in what you're doing. City sticker. I think it will get rubbed to death too. I think it will as well. Definitely. That's one of the reasons why I left it there. It's definitely going to get rubbed. But yeah, rubbed, put a wick in it, anything white on it. It just brings curiosity to them, and it could be easily done. You know what I mean? It could just be one of them things where we're in the sad daddy hunting blind, and it's rifle season, and say Chris's son is there or something, and there's a doe in the field, and he sees that white scent wick in the tree, and he walks right up to it and gone. So we'll see what happens with it, but I think it'll be good. GA Hunter finally made it on a live chat. How has everyone been? What's up, buddy? Glad to have you here. I think it's been a while since you've been on here, but I'm glad to see you. You're here as always. So yeah, it doesn't have to be rocket science. It's little things that you can do, and I really want you guys to get away from dumping, stuff on the ground. If you want to do it, that's fine, but if you just broaden your horizon and focus more on actual food, green and growing food, you guys are going to be better off, because as I just mentioned, deer, they don't like to feed together like that in a pile. I did it for years, you know what I mean? Because it's what you see on TV, and it's what everybody thinks they need to do, and it's really not. If you just open your mind up a little bit and focus on green and growing plants, because that is what deer consume on a daily basis. Not every property is going to have the same amount of natural browse or food plots or areas that you can spray or areas you can plant or whatever it is. It's every property is going to be different, but it's the little things you can do to help create that. You guys can get out there. I have tons of videos on putting food plots in the woods. Go watch them. You get out there with a rake. Last year I was out there, 95 degree weather, and I'm out there with rakes and a leaf blower and everything, and planting food plots into the middle of the woods. And if you need more sunlight, you can cut some trees down, or you can do some hack and squirt on the trees to kill those trees till the leaves fall off, so you get more sunlight. GA Hunter, deer are really liking the antler grow I've been spraying. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I'm glad it's working out for you. Would you recommend cutting green and growing plants to below chin high, or leave them knee high before spraying antler grow? That's a very good question. I would recommend cutting them. If you're just talking about like browse, as far as like weeds and grasses and things like that, I would recommend cutting them down, whether 6 inches or something like that, bush hog it or something, and then wait a couple days before you spray, because when you cut that, you're going to have, once them grass and stuff start to regrow and they're in that growing stage, then you spray that, it's going to be more readily available to that plant. So I would definitely cut that first, give it a few days, and then spray. Joe, yeah, it's a very good question, Joe. Very good question. But yeah, like if you don't even have a food plot, and you just have a field full of grasses and weeds and briars, and that deer eat that stuff. So you can bush hog it and then spray it, and I think it's like $17 or $16 an acre, and you just created, you know, a food plot. So it's there's so many things you can do. You know what I mean? It's just like you just have to get out there and, you know, broaden your horizon and have fun with it, because it's all a learning experience. It's you do one thing this year, and the only way to get better and things like that is to do something. If it doesn't work, or, you know, or something like that, do something different the following year. Because if you do the same, you can't do the same thing over and over and expect different, if it's not working, and expect different results. So it's all about having fun. You know what I mean? It's just getting out there, enjoying it. Like over the weekend, man, we had fun. I mean, it was fun. You know, you're out there in the sun and, you know, breathing fresh air. We saw wildlife as we're plowing the fields, and there was turkeys running through the field and bugging, and there was deer. You know, they're 50, 100 yards away from us, just feeding on browse as we're plowing the fields, and it's just great. Just got my slice of heaven outdoors. Just got in from work, but I made it. Thank you, man. Means a lot. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that for sure. Anybody else have any questions? It's so humid out today. So new video comes out tomorrow, explaining apple trees. It's a very cool video. Definitely want you guys to watch that. Come out tomorrow around 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a bunch of videos coming out in the next couple days. We're gonna figure out the Ashley thing, get her on here on a live video, get her explain her stuff and what she does, and she'll be uploading videos on the channel, on the YouTube channel, doing her thing, and like some vlog, you know, outdoor vlog type stuff. So she'll be on here for that. What else? Yeah, next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend, I think we're going to back to the farm to plant soybeans. I didn't plant them this weekend, or this past weekend, because I was playing it safe, because nighttime temperatures are still going down into the mid to upper 50s. So soybeans, you know, you might be able to get away with it, but I want to wait till, you know, we're in a steady 60, 65, because, you know, you're putting on all that work. You know what I mean? You're buying the seed and buying the soybeans and all this other stuff. You don't want it to fail, you know, because you didn't wait long enough. So we're gonna wait a little bit longer and get it done. And then, like I said, we're gonna fence them off. You know, I'm putting a lot of work into this place, because it's fun, and two, because I want to see the results. You know what I mean? I want to do the stuff, and when I go hunting there, I want to see wildlife. So that's the whole goal. I don't really care if I kill anything. You know what I mean? I want to do this stuff and help, and, you know, when I go there and hunt, I want to see wildlife. You know, I want to see turkeys. I want to see deer. I just want to see. It's fun to do things and then be able to see the results and see what you can get out of it. You know what I mean? Because you never know. You could do this, and you could shoot the biggest buck of your life, or you can do this and not see anything at all. But it's fun trying, and like I said, the reward is seeing wildlife, and then the bonus is actually getting to kill one. So it's just a fun process. Starting traditions outdoors, two brothers. What's up, buddy? My slice of heaven outdoors. My property is surrounded by hay fields. What would you suggest I plant in my plots? I would do, like, if you're on a fall plot, then I would stick with like some clovers. You can plant some clovers, or you can do some brassicas. Oats. I feel like oats are kind of like underrated. A lot of people really, I don't think a lot of people use them, but oats are very good. Brassicas, turnips, purple top turnips, anything like that. As far as a summer plot goes, you can do, you know, depending how big it is or how many deer that you have around your area, you could do soybeans, you could do sunflowers, you could do sun hemp, you could do cowpeas, you can do sorghum. There's all kinds of different stuff that you could plant, but just have fun with it, man. Like, you know, just plant something and you know, see how the deer react to it, and if it doesn't work, then you know not to plant it, and you know you should plant something else. So it's all about just having fun and enjoying it, and getting out there and, you know, with your friends or your family or whoever it is that you hunt with, just get out there and enjoy it, and see what you can get out of it. It's all about manipulation and you know, and having fun with it. That's really what the whole thing is about. Because if it wasn't fun, then if it's not fun, then what's the point, you know, in doing it? So if you're not having fun, I mean, yeah, it may cost. Like, here's the thing that kind of bugs me. Like, I work my tail off at work, and, you know, with things, and to make extra money to be able to do this type of stuff. So it's not like that, you know, it's not like I'm rich or by any means. I literally work overtime to be able to pay for all this stuff. So if I didn't work overtime, then I wouldn't be able to do any of this. I'd be sitting at home on the couch watching TV. So you know, that's why, you know, I'm going out of town, you know what I mean, for work, and, you know, working overtime, and, you know, doing different things to make extra money, because like, it's a struggle, you know what I mean? Like, if I didn't do any overtime at all, then, like I said, none of this stuff would get done. Like, you know what I mean, as far as a larger scale, you know, I'd be, you know, back with a rake and, you know, hand tools, which is fine, it works, but, you know, each year you want to try to take it to the next step and next level. And that's kind of like where I'm at this year, is I want to take it to a whole nother level and see what you can get out of it. So that's the cool thing about it. But rich? No, not by any means. Like, you have no idea. Not even close. My slice of heaven outdoors. What would be a minimum size plot for soybeans? There's really honestly no real answer to that, because you don't know. I don't know how many deer you have on your property. So, I mean, I would say you got to have at least an acre. I mean, that's all I'm doing is an acre. But the reason that I'm fencing it off is because I know that if I don't fence it off, it either won't grow, or when it grows, the deer are just going to tear it down to nothing. You know what I mean? So there's honestly no real answer, because you need to know how many deer that you have in the area, you know, on amount of food that they're going to consume. But really, with soybeans, I mean, honestly, you could do 3 acres of soybeans and it could be too small. You could do 5 acres of soybeans and it could be too small. So that's why my 1 acre of soybeans is going to be fenced off, and I'm going to let them grow, you know, spray the heck out of them with antler grow and all that. And that way the nutrients are there. So when I do take the fence off, they're the most palatable food source anywhere that can be found. So Tennessee just passed a new hunting law to allow a 3-day antlered only buck hunt to allow the harvest of a velvet buck. What are your thoughts on this? I'm a fan of hard antler myself. I like the idea. I mean, in Maryland, the season opens the 7th of September, so you have about 8 to 10 day window to be able to kill one in velvet. I've never killed one in velvet, but I think it would be it'd be cool to do. I think it's beautiful to, if you could get one, a nice buck like that, and get it mounted. I like the idea. I mean, I'm definitely a fan of, hard antlers myself, but I think it's cool to give you guys the option of a 3-day hunt like that, to be able to kill one in velvet. Georgia Hunter, I think he stated before, every 2 months. If you're talking about antler grow, then yeah, every 2 months you can spray. I just did 3 doubles this holiday weekend just to finish paying for spring plot supplies. George Clark, good job, buddy. Yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to work to play, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times where I'm busy, I don't have time for nothing else, and it's hard to keep up, you know what I mean? You start going, I start going at 4 a.m. and I don't get done till 10, 11 o'clock at night. It's not easy. An acre is what I was thinking, but I understand what you're saying. My slice of heaven outdoors. Yeah, an acre, I mean if you don't fence it off, honestly, you could plant that acre of soybeans and you just waste your money if the deer are going to eat it. It's questionable, you know what I mean? It's because I don't know where you're at. I don't know how many deer you have or something like that, but you're going to be the best judge of that. But an acre, I mean, it's going to get destroyed. 3 acres could get destroyed. It's just a hard you can't really estimate that. Your best bet is to plant it and then fence it off, at least until it establishes up to maybe a foot or 2 feet tall, and then you can take it off and put a cage in the center and see what happens, to see how much browse pressure they're getting. Have you ever tried frigid forest plot screen? No, I have not. Should I trim greens for antler grow, and do you cover the greens with ag? If you're talking about spraying a certain area, if it's natural browse, weeds, grasses, stuff like that, then yeah, we talked about that a little while ago. You want to cut it first just to create that fresh growth, and then you can spray it. Because the plant, when you cut it, then it starts to regrow. It becomes more readily available. So that would be your best bet, to cut it first, wait a couple days, and then you can go ahead and spray it. But that's what I would do. Cool. Well, if you guys have any more questions, I'm going to hop off here in the next 5 minutes or so. If you guys don't have any more questions, we're going to hop off. I got more work to do. So I'm glad to be back on here. Unfortunately, this will be the only week that I'm live from home on this setup. Next week I go back out of town again, so I will be going live with the phone to talk about more stuff. But I really enjoyed talking with you guys. I love you guys asking questions and getting involved, because it's just cool to talk with different people and see how you guys are having success different parts of the world. I started a food plot last year. It did alright. I would like to make a new one at same spot, or should I kill all weeds and replant until? Definitely you want to kill the weeds. if you want to establish a new food plot, you can definitely kill them, and then go ahead and replant, till it and then replant with something else, depending if you want to do a summer plot or fall plot. You could do brassicas, and like I said, you can't really go wrong with like greens, you know what I mean, like brassicas, oats, turnips, or something like that. But definitely throw some oats in there. Deer love oats, very high in protein. Throw your brassicas in there for late season, and your turnips and stuff like that. Hunting Stuff with J&J, another great feed. Take care and have a great one. Thank you, man. Same to you. What's up, Dave? Sorry I'm late. My hot water heater blew out of the bottom. Not good. Not good at all. Hopefully you got that taken care of. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but let's see. Right there is an apple tree. Right there. I sprayed those apple trees from a ladder with Antler Grow. Now the overspray obviously is hitting the weeds and stuff and the grasses and all that. I've been getting pictures all day long of the deer feeding. They're now feeding under this apple tree because of the overspray. We disked this up here. This is a picture that was just sent to me through SpyPoint. So we disked all this up here and planted a food plot. It hasn't, I'm sure it hasn't grown yet, but if you look back in the back, there's a deer right there. The deer have been living under this apple tree because of the overspray. They were never there before. So the only thing that's changed is the overspray. We sprayed the heck out of these trees, and now the deer from the overspray are now under the tree. It's just crazy, the way it attracts and all that stuff. So just a thought. I'm gonna hop off here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys back here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do have a new video coming out tomorrow. Please watch that and leave a comment on it, and I will see you guys next time.